All right, everybody, welcome and what's up? Welcome to your reading for the new moon in Scorpio, happening on the 13th of November in the Northern Hemisphere and the 14th of November in the Southern Hemisphere. My name is Kate. I run Indigo Instinct Healing, and I channel these collective readings for you twice a month, once on the new moon and once on the full moon, to bring you forward any messages that you need to see at this moment. As always, I channel to one color of the collective rainbow, and so if you feel that these readings resonate, or if I'm speaking to your soul color, these readings are most definitely for you, and I'm very grateful to have you here. Before I start and before I dive into the cards, I want to share a transmission that's coming through. Before I do these readings, before I turn the video on, I always channel and I tune in and I do my prayer, the same that I do with my one-on-one clients when they get a personal reading. And so often I get transmissions that don't have anything to do with the cards, and we don't really need to use the cards for the forecast, but I like to do it because it's fun. But for this month as a whole, for November, and for the next chapter of the space that we're moving through energetically, I'm getting this strong message of back to basics. And for many of you, this is going to happen outside of your will. So you might find yourself getting sick or getting caught up, like having your hours of work fall away, or you might end up in a situation where you're forced to slow down. And for some of you, it's going to be a conscious choice, but it's really going to mean a lot of pulling back and withdrawing and saying no where appropriate so that you can create this more rich inner world and let your outer world just take a moment to breathe. And so what I mean by back to basics is getting back in tune with yourself. And so getting back to a routine that feels good for you. When I say routine, I definitely don't mean doing the same thing every day, but having some combination of practices in the morning so that you have some sort of guidance when you get out of bed. Whether that is getting up and putting the kettle on and making a tea or a coffee, or getting up and journaling or reading a few pages from a book, or going outside right away just to take some breaths or to go for a short walk. It really doesn't matter what your practices are, and you can have such a different combination of as many as you like. But getting back to some sort of rhythm that is just your unique energy and soul code that allows you to prepare yourself for the energy that's coming towards you throughout the day. When we prepare our own physical spaces and our own spiritual spaces first as humans, the way that we engage with the world is much stronger. It's a much stronger reflection of who we are and what we're asking for and what we're manifesting and what we're calling into our lives, or what trials and tribulations we're supposed to face and what challenges we're supposed to overcome, than it is just getting thrown into the mix with a bunch of other energies and a bunch of other people and not really knowing which way's up. So back to basics for November. And for many of you, this might feel frustrating because you really want to feel like you're moving forward. But I assure you that taking this break, taking this internal time to nurture and to soothe and to listen for answers, because asking questions isn't really going to get you a lot of answers, but to just listen to what is rising to the surface, it's going to get you so much further ahead in the long run as we get into the new year, into March, into spring, as we get into this shift that's going to be happening in 2024 that I promise you is going to be a lot lighter. But you really, really have to be willing to take these plateaus that come your way and really use that time to integrate. I have an aunt that I trust very deeply who I was going through a very difficult time with my health last year. And if you follow along with the readings, you'll see the video that I posted last winter about how I needed to take a break. And I really was masking quite a bit. I was doing a lot worse than it looked on the video. But she explained to me that in life we have these moments where we're climbing the stairs, we're climbing the stairs, we're climbing the stairs, and then we hit a platform and we hit a leveling out phase. And if we don't take the time to rest and to integrate and to nurture during those plateaus, we don't actually learn any of the lessons that we just spent the past 6 months or a year or however long it's been wading through the muck to get to that lesson point in the first place. So give yourself that offering. And for many of you, that's also going to mean softness, lessening instead of pushing through. This is not a time to push through. This is very much like an ebb of our personal tides. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, my books are currently open. I offer 60 and 90-minute readings for individuals. And if you're a new client to me, we always do 90 minutes because there is always a lot to go over, especially if you feel like you might be a starseed. So contact me at my email in the description box below. Go read some of my work on medium.com if you're interested in the starseed stuff or some of the other metaphysical work that I do. And keep an eye out for the ebook that's going to be coming to you in January of 2024. It is an Energy Basics 101 book that will teach you a lot about how to manage and contain and protect and strengthen and give your energy more vitality through really easy practices and techniques that I teach my own clients and I've done for myself for a very long time. So keep your eye out for that. And getting to the reading. So our overall theme for this new moon in Scorpio, it does go a little bit hand in hand with that taking a breather point. But what I'm being shown is all of the effort and the work that goes on behind the scenes to create something that looks like it was easy and flawless to begin with. And so for this new moon, can you get really clear on 2 or 3 goals? Really, really simplify 2 or 3 goals. What are those goals? And then spend some time engaging with the physical. Mind map, journal, make a vision board, do something in the physical, do a ceremony, doesn't matter what it is, so that you can lay down some stones of intention of how you're going to get there and what you want to create. This is very much a working phase. And it's not about effort and it's not about intensity. It's more like a Santa's workshop kind of vibe where we're just puttering away, doing the small things that we can to continue to create this thing or this reality that we want. What do those little steps look like? We're talking about small, easy, digestible steps. But you do need to get really clear on those goals and just write them down so that you're not getting confused or frustrated with yourself when you inevitably start to compare yourself to the outside world and feel like your progress isn't as far as you want it to be. So what are those goals? All right, I've got a block and a path here that we're going to pull at the end. Okay. For those of you who feel like your relationships are changing and you might feel a little bit lonely and you might feel a little bit confused, or you just feel like things are falling away when you thought they were going to be falling together, or whatever, in the relationship sphere, if you feel like things are kind of shifting underneath your feet, we've got the beautiful White Witch. And this is such an incredibly exciting time and card to receive because the real heart, the real meat of this card is about embarking on a journey that you didn't know was available for you. This is about a young maiden who is about to step into a new phase of being. And when we're talking about that concept in like relation to your relationships, what's coming through here is the willingness to expand your mind and expand your self-worth and dream up relationships that might be better than the ones you thought were rock solid. Maybe that you have somebody close to you, but there's a couple of things that just don't feel right, or you constantly feel let down, or you feel is challenging. Can you make space in your mind? Really, this is like an etheric consciousness and heart space thing. Can you make space in your mind and space in your heart for new friendships and new relationships to enter that are more healthy, that are more sustainable, that are more supportive than the ones you feel like you're losing? Because although in the forefront of this card and this phase of your life, it might feel like you're losing people, it's actually quite the opposite. And you're really drawing in these new relationships that are going to be incredibly supportive to you. But it's going to be a lot easier on you if you can let go of the belief that this is a sad thing and that this is a difficult thing or a hard thing or a heavy thing you're letting go of. Don't focus on the fact that you're losing anything. Focus on the fact that you are gaining all of these beautiful people in your life, but it's going to take some courage because you're at the beginning phase where you're just about to embark. You don't know what's waiting. It's very much like the Kate Winslet walking onto the boat of the Titanic thing. She doesn't know she's about to meet the love of her life and begin to feel free. So I apologize if that was a very lame reference, but I really love that film. So I'm conscious of using the word be grateful, but be excited, get excited about what is coming towards you and really just detach from the mental focus of what you're losing, because all that's serving right now is to make you feel heavier and to make you feel more sad. Okay, so this is going to be a dual-sided card. For some of you, it's going to be about a romantic relationship and about love. And for some of you, it's about something deeper. It's more about a very deep dream or something that you would love to do with your life, or something that you secretly really want to have happen for you, but you haven't been able to really express it out loud. And part of this for the collective is coming through as there being an element of the healed masculine in your life. So whether that comes from within and takes the shape of embodying a more active or direct approach, being more willing to go after the thing that you need. And so maybe that means seeking help so that you get the support you need to get there, enrolling in the course, booking the plane ticket, changing locations, making the move, whatever it is to take the step to get you towards your deeper dream. And for many of you, this is going to be a dream that you haven't really shared with anybody. Take that offering of the healed masculine that is either coming through from you or coming through from someone on the outside and allow that into your life. And for those of you where this is going to be more centered around love, keep in mind that romantic relationships are containers of safety and growth. And for some of you, this might be a very close friend as well. It's not necessarily going to be romantic, but it's very much like a love-centered relationship. Relationships are containers of safety and growth. And there are going to be periods where you need to hold the space for others. And there are going to be periods where others need to hold the space for you. And what you're embarking on, what you're about to enter in this next phase with this new moon in Scorpio and this unfolding of the month of November is the opportunity to hold space in a different way, in a more solid way, without having to put as much effort or say as much. For many of you, it feels like these relationships are draining on you, but you really care about them. And the solution here is more about holding the space for the relationship, but not having to stoke the fire constantly. Can you trust in your divine right to occupy that space as somebody who is solid and secure and grounding and provides benefit to this relationship? And can you lean into that belief that you are worthy of having these relationships be solid and be well supported without a ton of effort? And so again, that's a lot about the healed masculine. The healed masculine doesn't feel like they need to prove anything, but they're capable of holding the space without having to justify or to object or to constantly add their opinion to the situation. So there's more stability in this dynamic than you think. And this same goes for the people with their deeper dreams. There's more stability in this seeking this deeper dream than you think, but you do have to take decided and measured and concrete action to get there. Okay, and then our block on our path, our dual card. Okay, so there's a wave of many of you who may feel like too much is changing underfoot, or you're changing too much, and what you're asking for is too far reaching. You're asking for too many things to work out. You feel like you're spread out in your wishes, and you feel like it's just silly. What you're hoping for is just silly, and it's just too far. And this is absolutely not true, but by nature of being someone who is deeply dynamic, a bit of a shapeshifter, and a bit of a spiritual inspiration in terms of the way that you're dynamic and your multifaceted versions of living, everybody has this incredible rainbow and spectrum of creativity and who they are and self-expression, but not everybody embodies it. And so just because you're embodying it more, or you're asking to embody it more, it doesn't mean that you're too much. It doesn't mean that you're all over the place. It just means that you really need to be clear on your center so that you can express in all of these different avenues and not be thrown by commentary from the outside. And our path for this situation is this beautiful, I love getting this card, this beautiful Stargazer card, but we got it in reverse. And what's really coming back with this particular block and path read is feelings of unworthiness and needing to work on building up your self-worth. And how do we build up our self-worth? Or can we poke holes in these narratives that have us feeling like we're asking for too much, we're being too out there, we're receiving too much? Where have you decided the limit is, and why have you decided it's so low? Because if you don't open up more space for worthiness and more space for what you truly deserve, you're not actually going to be able to embody the change that you're seeking. There has to be a mindset shift first that allows you to receive more. And then when you are believing that you are worthy of receiving the things that you want, and you believe that you deserve to have things work out, or you deserve to have things change and stay changed, you're not going to mess it up. You're not going to fall backwards. You're not going to make things go back to the beginning. Once you get to the center of those worthiness pieces, everything is going to be a lot easier to come by. So get intimate with yourself about these worthiness pieces. And every time you feel like you're being too much, or you're asking for too much, or you're going too far, or you're being too out there, or you're judging yourself in any of those ways, where is it with the worthiness stuff that you feel or you're able to kind of bring to light about? Where is it? Where are you with the worthiness stuff? Where is the worthiness aspect coming up in that issue, or that too muchness, or that too out there-ness, or whatever it is you're feeling? And see if you can do your best to poke holes in that balloon that's keeping you small. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pass it along to a friend if it resonated with you. Check out the articles on medium.com. That is where all of my writing is and where I'm spending a lot of my time these days. And if you feel called, please book a reading with me. You can check the reviews on Google. They're definitely helpful, and I love to do them. So thank you so much for being here. I'm super grateful to be a part of this channel and on YouTube, and I wish you all the best with the new moon in Scorpio. Blessings.